Perfect.
Yeah. And obviously, the genesis of the film is Clark's true story, right? So we'll speak a bit about you and Clark's sisterhood, which I witnessed this afternoon when I met you, the two of you. But I just want to start with you and what drew you to this character? You know, in South Africa, we know from a very prominent Netflix show called Blood and Water, which is very different. And I think she had to access very different parts of herself to go into this character. So please check that one out. But let's talk about you. You know, what parts of you had to access to play the character?
Oh, Safi. Well, it was a really tough journey. I remember when I got the call to audition for Fight Like a Girl, shooting season 3 of Blood and Water. And I remember just that process. My team was very excited about the film. They really wanted me to audition for it. I was a bit busy. I was like, okay, cool, let me see. Like, let me read the script. And I just fell in love with the words. I mean, the journey that Safi goes through. It was very different from anything that I'd ever done before. I had to learn how to box. I had to learn a new language. I'd be shooting in Congo. It'd be my first time shooting outside of South Africa. I was very, very excited about that. And I just loved the words on the page. I think Matt did a phenomenal job with writing the script and telling these women's stories.
Fantastic. And you mentioned Mark, of course, and Mark is the genesis. And I want to just go to
Matt.
Matt.
No, it's
Matthew.
okay.
Matthew
Where is he?
Lutweiler, right?
Is he here?
Is Matthew Lutweiler here?
He is.
Ah, there we go. So Matthew is the writer and director of this film. So I want to start with asking how Matt and Clark met up to decide to turn this into a film. So, Clark, would you like to speak in Kiswahili or French and have an interpreter? Fantastic. Do you want to grab a chair, Shadrach, and join us? So, Clark, just the beginning of, you know, having the courage to be able to tell the story of everything that we saw has happened to you and turn it into a film. And you can speak in French, Kiswahili, English, whichever you feel most comfortable with right now.
Bonsoir à tous. Je suis Clark Ntambwe et je fais la boxe en fait. Cette film parle de ma vie. Tout ce qui est dans cette film, c'est ce que je vis. Je suis congolaise. J'habite au Congo. Je suis championne du Congo, vice-championne d'Afrique.
Oui.
So, what you saw, it's her life. That's why she lives. She's the boxing champion in Congo. That's where she grew up. The whole movie is about her life. So, basically, she's happy to be here and also seeing people being able to see her story and see the movie. It's amazing. Yeah.
And Clark, thank you for your bravery and for starring in the film. Was this your first time acting or being in front of the camera?
So yeah, it was her first time acting in the movie.
And she killed it.
Yes, she did. And what do you hope this kind of film will do in terms of raising awareness of some of the, you know, issues that are brought up in the film, issues of exploitation, gender-based violence, everything that we see you survive?
So, wanauliza hii filme, unaona unaweza saidia watu wae kuyua vitu mwanamke wanapitana nabo mu Congo, kuhusu violence ya mwanamke, maisha ya mwanamke, kuhusu na box.
En fait, sorry, I film en fait. Ita saidia afya mingi sana paske mu Congo tunaishi genocide ya mingi, watu wa mingi tunakufa sana. Tunakufa kama vile usiku vile mchana. En fait, boxing inasaidia mingi kujidefendre sometimes. Unakuwa suja maisha kwenu kafaa box inatusaidia kubitu vya mingi sana. Aiko kila mtu wote ndio ataweza kuchezea box kama unafaa box. Yani watu wa mingi wanaanza kuogopa ukifanya box na inasaidia watu wa mingi sana. Eu joue avec o Qamata enthousiasme sportif. And
I should say boxing is actually it's a way of life for them. It also helped them a lot. A lot of women they go through a lot of things in Congo, and then there's genocide going on right now. So he hopes this kid raise awareness about the issues going to happen in Congo and what the women go through.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know that war is happening in Congo, war is happening in South Sudan, war is happening in Palestine, war is happening in a lot of places. And I think these kind of films help us reflect and connect us and remind us of these horrific things, right? Emma, back to you, just, you know, speaking and spending time with the person with the lived experience. And you, you know, I just want to speak a bit about, you know, this has been a continental effort to make this film. South Africa is on the stage, Rwanda is on the stage, Democratic Republic of Congo, of course, taking center stage. How did that, you know, working together as African sisters and brothers and seeing it on the big screen, what does that mean for you in terms of what we're able to achieve in African cinema?
It was incredible. I mean, like I said, it was my first time shooting outside of South Africa, and spending time with Clark. She was so generous, you know, with her story and just allowing me to be myself and welcoming me. Because I remember the first time I went into the boxing ring, I did not know what I was doing, and she was really like helping me. We trained together quite a lot. But I think in terms of film, working together collaboratively, English, as Africans, it's beautiful because I do think that it is time for Africa, right? It's time for us to put our creative mark in the global market, and I think this movie does a really good job at doing that.
And you touch on language there. I'll allow you to clap. And so, you know, coming from South Africa and having to go and learn Lingala and Kiswahili. Tell me about how that came across, and if linguistically you were able to sort of identify your own language.
With Zulu or Xhosa. No, not at all. I wish. So I remember I actually requested that with Matt. I had a conversation with the director, and I felt it would be more natural for Safi to speak the language more often. I worked with the coach, a language coach who's in the movie as well. Shout out to him. And he helped me quite a lot, not only in terms of the language, because he's from Congo. Congo gave me a lot of insight about, you know, what the people there are like. I remember the specific line that really helped me when Safi says, "I'm from Beni," and he was like, you need to know the weight of what that means. When someone says they're from Beni, it's such like some people feel sorry for them, you know, because of just the suffering that happens there. So he helped me a lot, even just in terms of preparing for my character. But yeah, I had to learn a new language in like, I think 2 weeks. Yeah.
All right, we can just open up to the audience if there's any questions, and then we can carry on our conversation. So if you'd like to ask anything about the characters, the filmmaking process, anything that you observed watching the film.
Good evening. My name is Jean. I promote African movies. I'm a festival producer. Thank you for the movie. Amazing performance. Amma, also Quark. So, apart from the story about the boxing and everything that you overcame, my question is addressed to the directors and the producers of the movie. Is like, and I know maybe my opinion won't be common, but we recently did an event about Congo, and we know there is a genocide happening. So maybe half of the people in the room don't know. It's 7 million people displaced. It's been happening for 30 years. It's women raped, children killed. It's horrible. And I felt a bit uncomfortable watching the movie because at almost no point in the movie, we actually talk about the context. And so I felt like we talk about the suffering, we see people suffer in the movie, but we don't understand why. And it's just like, it's a missed opportunity for the directors to do that. And I was just wondering about why did you just decide to not address the subject, the context? And last thing.
Matt is here.
Thank you, Matthew. And shout out to you also for doing a movie in English in the first francophone country in the world. Shout out to that.
We'll let the writer-director, Matt, answer that.
We're doing a documentary about this. We've been following them for 4 years. You'll see a lot more of that in that documentary. We're still following them. We're not finished. But this story was so personal that we felt, you know, an educated person watching this, and I mean educated and understanding what's going on in that part of the world, would understand all that. It was really her story, so we didn't really have time or really wanted to get away from her story to start getting into all of that. It was a very conscious decision. I understand what you're saying too. I think it's really important. I talk about it all the time, and I'm very concerned about what's going on in places like Palestine and Ukraine. But the fact that no, let me finish. But the fact that it's ignored, what's going on in Congo, is something that we talk about constantly. This shit is so much bigger than the things that are getting real attention in this world. And we're hoping with a movie like this that people will, what I hope happens with all movies that have, that are more than a film, right? That are trying to expose you to something you haven't seen before, that I hope you go home and you Google this and you find out that 7 million people have been displaced. We have a group of kids that we built a facility for a few years ago in Congo, and I was just there with Clarice about 3 weeks ago delivering food and aid and stuff, and it's where Clark lives right now is tough. I mean, it's really one of the toughest places in the world. And so it is upsetting when you don't see this stuff in the news. You don't see Sudan in the news. But they're not sexy, apparently. You know, it's not, people aren't that, for whatever reason, the West just isn't interested. I'm just floored. But maybe because it's been going on so long, I'm curious to talk to you a little bit about it after, actually. That people just forgot, or I don't really know. But we do hope that a film like this does get people to go, what's going on in that part of the world? The other thing that we wanted to do with this movie also was not just to show how tough it is, you know. People fall in love in places like this. They drink a beer. They tell a joke. They tell a fart joke. Do you know what I mean? Like, people, we've been sponsoring kids in Rwanda for about 12 years and in Congo for about 8. And I talk to a lot of high schools in America, and kids always ask me, well, what's it like for the kids, you know, in Congo or in Rwanda? What's like the toughest thing they have to deal with? And I'm like, bullying, girl won't talk to kid who wants to go out on a date. It's the same shit, because the reality is we're all the same. The stuff that people, and yes, we have a kid that had to walk 5 miles to get water. That's real. But what people don't understand is that people's issues are the same in most parts of the world, really all parts of the world. And so I'm hoping also with a film like this is that you don't just see how brutal everything is, but you see that people are kind. When he gives the shoes to her, it's to me, that's one of the most beautiful things that happens in the movie, and it's so seemingly small, but it's a big deal, you know? So, I don't know. But I understand I understand your point.
If we can pass the mic over here, and we'll take 2 from the back as well.
Davis, hi.
Good evening, everyone. My brother, I have to disagree with you. I felt your pain. I could see your struggle. I could see the people around. And it's not just you. It's all the sisters that have gone through all the pain and all the hurt, all the mothers, the grandmothers, the nannies, the aunt that's not your aunt. I understood your pain. Even though you're from the other side, and I'm here in America, and my people were brought over, I felt your pain. I felt when you wanted to love the guy, but you know you couldn't. But then you realized that you could love somebody. So what he's saying is true, and it's been happening for millions and millions of years. But this the director, the writer, the people that played in it, I got your story. And that's what this was about. Yes, it's always been atrocities going on here in the States, overseas, everywhere. But I got your story, and that's the point.
Yes. All right, we'll go to the back. Thank you. Oh, wow.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Vianney. I just want to say that was an amazing film. You guys did an amazing job. I'm a production assistant, so I'm really interested in hearing the behind the scenes. Like, what was the hardest scene to shoot during this film? Like, what was the scene that you guys had to do it over and over? Because as a production assistant, I'm always in the behind the scenes of like shooting interviews, and I know how many times a take has to be taken. So I just wanted to know, like, in this specific film, what part was the one where you guys had to like, okay, let's run it back. We have to hold the camera again, do it again, guys. Like, and this is for both of the actresses.
I think almost every scene was like quite difficult. Shooting in Congo is quite like unconventional, but I remember the final scene that we did, the boxing scene. So in the middle of shooting that, I shot 20 hours. By the way, we shot 20 hours straight that day. It was brutal. And I remember while we were shooting that scene, the girl I was boxing with got a headache, so we had to stop. And then at some point I was just like boxing with the camera, and then we didn't have enough time. We had to like leave the venue because I think there was a concert happening right after that. So as we're shooting, they're like setting up the stage, and we had to like find a way to shoot it so that you don't see the people in the back. I think everything was quite challenging, but I'm so grateful for that because it really just tests your strength as a performer, as a person. It helps us lean on each other a bit more. You know, when one person feels down, another person picks up the spirit. But yeah, it was a really tough movie to shoot. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it was quite tough.
And for you, Clark?
En fait, moi, ce que j'ai vu, ce qui était difficile pour moi, c'est de parler parce que j'étais habituée d'être filmée, je fais les documentaires. Alors, j'avais toujours peur, en fait, parce que c'était ma première fois de faire le cinéma. Quand on fait quoi, back to one, ça m'a fait peur toujours. Mon producteur, sometimes, fait du back to one, ça me faisait seulement le stress, c'est que ma vie donne du stress, seulement, de back to one.
Yeah, so because that was our first time being on the scene, so when they have to always retake
Back
the
to
scene.
one.
So it was always the hardest part for her.
Do you think you will do another movie, Clark? Will you act again?
Ah oui, parce que...
So why not?
Yeah. And you know, your story goes from working as an illegal miner, basically being exploited, then being, you know, selling the fish, and then becoming a boxer. And your career is also pivoted now because you directed on this. You co-produced.
Yes.
Yes, you co-produced on this. So tell me about what you're learning about, you know, being an actress and producer as well, and just what that, you know, what that career pivot is happening for you.
I mean, I think I've always wanted that to be the trajectory of my career. I've always wanted to be more behind the scenes and just take more creative reins on the stories that I get put onto. I was very fortunate with Matt and Anton that they were just open to collaborating and teaching me about what happens, you know, about making a film. And it's what I want to do. I see myself producing and acting in my films in the future.
Fantastic. Okay, so there's a few more questions that have gone up. You've been waiting for quite a while, so I'll go to you. With the glasses behind the camera. Thank you.
Hi, c'est un film, très bon film, et tu as très bien, ton actuation était incroyable.
Merci.
D'accord. It was a wonderful film. It was actually really powerful, and it's extremely important in this time that women are resisting no matter what condition they've been put through. And to answer the gentleman who is, I don't think he was fair with the director or the purpose of that movie, it was very clear to me, it doesn't have to be so graphic or etc. You have to listen between the line. A movie, even a work of art, it's always between the line, and you read, you know, the liminal space. That's where the real story is at. When Safi asked the girl, the girl confessed to her that she had been raped, and the little boy was a result. Safi doesn't say anything, but you can feel pain. You know she's been through something. We don't know, but eventually she has a lot of flashback. Her father being killed, her mother being killed, and when she explained to the boy why he can kiss her, even when at the moment you actually tell the boy, get off. You know that you've been attacked. I mean, it doesn't have to be told. Even if you don't know the news of the world, you understand this. It's absolutely undeniable. And in terms of world conflict, Syria was also ignored. Don't forget. Yemen was also ignored, and it was so much starvation there. Okay, it's not just Africa, it's everywhere. The only reason why we have eyes on Gaza is because they have eyes on Israel. That's the only reason. The Gazans don't even matter to them. They don't talk about the Gazans being killed, slaughtered, and entire family wiped out from the face of the earth. So this is not even a conversation to have here, because I think I praise the director for actually bringing forth not only the horrible trauma the people in Congo and Sudan and other countries and South Africa from before apartheid, when it was apartheid, it was the resilience and the resistance of the population, especially the women, are incredible. I mean, it's so laudable and beautiful, and this movie has brought that forth, and I think we need to promote that movie. He has to come out widely throughout the US and the world.
Yeah. I think while the mic is being passed, we'll have one question at the back and we'll come here. I think there's that quote in the film, I See You Too, where it says that where women rule, streams run uphill. Yeah. That's the thing. Okay, over to you.
Hello, my name is Janet Kilonzo. Thank you for showing such a beautiful film. And my question for both Alma and Clark. As actors, what is one thing you took away with you as an actor or just as a human being? And just to translate real quick, Clark, wakati mlikuwa mnatengeneza hii film, kulikuwa kuna kitu ulijifunza kukuhusu?
Well, I learned how to box, which is pretty cool. And I think just collaboration. You're just working as a team, you know, when hard times, when it's hard, just all coming together and like really pushing through.
Yeah, that is all. En fait, wakati tulikuwa nacheza film, nilijifunza sana ilikuwa charisme ya msinema parce que siafanya cinema, c'est ma première fois kufanya cinema. Nilijifunza sana ilikuwa cinema parce que vingine vyote nilikuwa najua box, en fait, ni vyangu.
Yeah, when she was acting, she learned a lot of what goes through when people are acting, when the movie are being made. But because she's already a boxer, most of the things were not new to her. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Lucy. I have a question for Alma. My question is, what was the biggest difference shooting in South Africa versus Congo? And then, is there anywhere like in the future that you might want to like shoot? Africa or any other continent?
The biggest difference between shooting in Congo and South Africa, wow. There was a huge difference. I think that in Congo they're still developing the film industry there, where in South Africa I think we've had a bit more experience. So a lot of the people who are working on the crew was their first time shooting a film. So I think just that, just working with different people, a different environment. You know, I didn't want to mention the fact that I didn't have a trailer, but you know.
No diva moments.
You know, it's like pick a corner, pick a corner. That's not important. But where would I like to shoot? I think I'm right now in my career, I really am intentional about like going into the global space, and I think America is a really good place to do that.
The US of A. All right, so we'll take your question.
Hi. This is not a question, it's more just like a thank you to Clark. Because what you showed all of us on that screen was how you channel what has happened to you into something bigger, into something, and living your life with resilience. And, you know, I think so much, and I just wanted to say thank you. Like, thank you for opening yourself up in that way, and for sharing with us with a level of vulnerability, your heart and your story and your lived experience. And I think it's the most healing thing you can do in this world right now. So just thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And just to acknowledge, we know that we have a lot of friends and family here, everyone who's here to support Clark. We know that Ama's mom is here.
Oh, she's not here.
She's not here
she's
yet?
not here, but she arrived here,
she's landed.
Yeah, she's landed.
Okay. And we know that there's a childhood friend of Ama's
Davis, over there.
in the.
That's so cute. He actually watched me like my very first, when I decided I want to become an actress, we were in school together. So my drama teacher was like, one day I know this girl's going to do something really special. So Davis was there to witness all of it. It's just crazy that he's here.
We all need friends as artists. Clark, merci beaucoup.
Je vous en prie.
And Ama, I wish you all of the very best. What's next for you now with this film? I know that you've been nominated for quite a few awards back home as well. So what's next for the film and for yourselves? Just as some parting words.
I think for the film, probably Matt and Anton could answer that question better. But for me, I'm currently, actually, I was saying that when I go back home, when I land, the day I land, I have to be on set to shoot another show that I'm doing now for Netflix called High City. Yeah.
Great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, what's filme isa inaisha après filme nini unapanga kufanya nini after film?
En fait, nami nataka niendelee mufilmi, napenda nikuwa un jour sa Zeroki anafanyaka catch en même temps faire cinéma.
So now she wants to continue acting and then be like The Rock. Because he does wrestling and also he act. Yeah, so.
Fantastic. And of course, the film festival is running up until the 30th of May. Please catch some more films from all across Africa and the diaspora, and please support. And I think it means a lot to us to see so many people supporting our films and our stories. So thanks to all of you as well.